I go to God's house with praise. I'm glad about being in the Lord's presence. I don't even, you know what? Don't think that as a pastor and being saved over 40 years, there are days that I don't struggle with stuff. But Portia will tell you, and I know Perla does it. Perla comes up here and clean. She says she gets in this sanctuary and it's just meditation time. There are times when I'm up here in the office and I just walk over on this side, Brother Eric, just so I can say, Lord, you're good. You ought to come with praise to God's house. Some of y'all dismiss what you're about and get to God's house with praise. I bet he'll give you a song. Or he'll give you the other understanding and revelation of a song you've been singing. And it'll mean something. These are things David used to encourage himself in a deep place. I went to God's house and I was glad about being there, and I had praise and joy. I was thankful. I was singing the songs of Zion. I remember sometimes singing in the spirit, just doing congregational songs. And the Lord would give you a revelation. While you're right there singing that song, you'd be like, no, you did not. Just let me see that. And the spirit breaks out and you're encouraged by it. You don't get that at home all the time. I had to get to God's house. Because I remember what it was like when I got to God's house. And then David ends this, and I'm closing up. Oh, I went longer than I thought. With a multitude that kept holy day. That's what David said. Now, if you really research David, David often talked about in God's house. One of his themes, I think it's Psalms 27, where he said, this is what I desire of the Lord. And this is what I seek after. Look what he said. He was king. He said that I might dwell in the house of the Lord all my days. Of all my life. That's what I want to do. And I think about Pastor Robinson when he was preaching about Simeon last week. Simeon could not have saw the Lord unless the Spirit told him, get to the house of God. Oh, I don't know if you ever been there when the Spirit tells you, get to God's house. Because sometimes the Lord allows the Spirit to tell us, get over your foolishness and get to God's house. You being stupid about something. Beloved, stop letting the devil trick off you about coming to God's house. I'm serious about that. Stop letting him trick you off. He's using people to do it. It may even be your spouse, but don't let him trick you off about getting to God's house. That has to be a priority. Don't ever be so mad that you can't come to church. I'm going to help some of you. I don't care how mad you get. Bring your mad behind on to God's house so he can help you. Get here so he can help you. Sitting up here mad, at home pouting. You better get to God's house. You're right. Pastor Thurman once said something really deep that I never forgot to us. He said, God will hold you accountable for what you had the opportunity to hear, but you weren't available. He said, you will be held accountable for what you had the opportunity to hear. Some of you guys stop choosing outside carnal activity over being in God's house. Because God's going to hold you accountable for what you had the opportunity to hear. You got help in here. You got future help in here. Get to my house so I can help you. Just get to God's house. Michael and I, most of the time, if we're off on an anniversary, birthday, something, we might miss a Sunday. Most of the time, we regulate our time away so that we're not missing a bunch of church. See, I traveled with the people of God. There's a different education when you travel with God's people. I'm telling you, there's a different understanding when you travel with God's people. And I don't mean, physically. I mean, when you are journeying with the people of God, there's a different understanding that comes. Well, wait a minute. You know what? Let's go to church. Let's let God work this first. He gives us so many days to ourselves. He said, I know you got time to get here from me. I went with the voice, with a multitude that kept holy day. I went with this noise and this this company of people that were involved in keeping this feast before God. You have to settle that in your heart. I'm going with the multitude that keeps the Sabbath and sacred times of being in God's presence. You have to settle that. I think Edna and I were laughing because we were talking about we used to be like trying to miss watch night service so we could be right there. I said, see, we didn't even do that. There was me and two other ladies in here. And none of us was married, but we waited for watch night service to be over. We went to watch night service because, we knew the rebuke was going to be waiting for us. The club was going to have to wait for us. But soon as the amen went out in the sanctuary, we were young, much younger then. We was in the bathroom pulling off hats, busting hair. Oh yeah, we was down at the club. They was popping and dancing. But you know what? The memory of that day was not that club. It was the time we had spent in God's house. And I'll be honest, I don't think we ever did that again. I was like, oh well, this is all they doing? I was sitting there like, this it? I was all hyped up for something really fantastic, and it was such a letdown, Okay, I'm going home. With the multitude that sanctified the Sabbath in their heart. And that's what you have to do, beloved. You have to set the Sabbath aside in your own heart, so that you don't sin against it. Look, listen to this. In the Old Testament, the Lord told the Israelites about their tithing, for them to pay their tithe so that it will keep the Sabbath holy unto them. All of this about being in His presence. He said your tithing will help you keep the Sabbath holy to yourself. And I got to thinking about this, Sister Jeanette. I said, I wonder if we could do a poll and find out if the people who pay their tithes are the people who come to church all the time. I know. Don't nobody think about this stuff in me. I probably should get a job with the pollsters. Hey, I'm supposed to be asking you this political question, and I want to know, do you pay your tithes when you go to church? But that's what the Lord said. It would sanctify the Sabbath in your heart when you give your tithes. And not all the other, but your tithes sanctifies the Sabbath in your heart. So David, he goes back. Wait a minute, soul, why you cast down? Why you disquieted? You better hope in God, because I'm going to still praise Him. But he encouraged himself with his time in the house of God. So as we look back, beloved, and I'm praying, and I've heard it already in some of you, I'm praying that the memories, your memories of well-being are from you being in God's house, are from His presence. God has allowed us to see some great things. I mean, lately we travel. We've been Alaska, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Bahamas, Jamaica again. And we've been to Europe. We've been places. I've seen Niagara Falls. I have those images. But Brother Eric and Sister Melissa, as world travelers, you know nothing beats being in the presence of God and in God's house with God's people. When you go, you're so glad to get back. I'm glad to be here, saints. That's right. Because there's something about interacting in this realm. Let's stand to our feet. So as you look back over this year, some of you, you'll just be able to say, amen, Jesus, amen. Oh, yeah, you did. I remember. I remember the time. I remember the time. Yeah, I remember. Yep. I always say we're going to have to fortify the floor up here because Sister Kathy gets to stomping. I'll be like, child, you can't be putting all that weight on our floor like that. Bam! Bam! Whole floor is shaking. That's all right. Now, I've been stomping, you know, they say when you're walking, you put 1.5 times the weight on your knees. If you climb stairs, you put 2 times the weight on your knees. So if you stomp in the floor, I think it's 3 times on the floor. But anyway, saints of God. See, I'll try to please if you are here this morning, as we begin to close, and you know this is not where you're at. I don't run to get to God's house. I can always find something else to do. You may want to come forward.